Today's topic is psychedelic mushrooms. Welcome. My name is Solar, my given name that I gave myself. I want to talk about my experience with psychedelics. I have retired. I want to start off by saying that I have actually retired from doing psychedelics because I had a good binge, I had a good run. So it's been long enough now. The last time I ever did them was 2017, and I feel able to have the conversation now in a way that could maybe reach a good amount of people. So the first time I did mushrooms, I was by myself, and it was nighttime, and it was perfect. I was home. I was not home alone, but I was the only one awake. And when I took them the first time, I had this rush of nausea that was like under my skin. Like the nausea was in my belly, but I felt it in my entire body. Like, you know, when you feel sick and your whole body just feels kind of weak. That was the feeling that I had. And it made me feel vulnerable. So that's an aspect of it, the vulnerability that comes with a mushroom trip. So once I started feeling vulnerable, I started crying. It sounds so silly. Like, I got nauseous, I felt vulnerable, I started crying. And the tears felt like the ocean. Like, the tears felt like I was washing away so many ailments. And it was a soothing, comfortable kind of cry. I brought out my Tibetan sound bowls, and I was just playing with them and listening and feeling the vibration of it. And it was just very gentle. It was a hug from the inside out, from the earth. Like, it felt like a gift, and it felt very quiet. That's what I could sense out the most. Like, you know, when you wake up at 4 a.m., like 4 a.m., and it's just quiet. Like, if you don't live in the hood like I do. I mean, even so, the hood was still being the hood, and it felt quiet. It was a sense of like white noise, static in the air. So that was the first time. The second time I did it, I was at the park, and I was with someone that I was in a relationship with at the time. And doing the mushrooms outdoors felt different. I felt more peace. So overall, what the mushrooms taught me was inner peace. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, because I needed it. I needed it so much. I feel like I was very worried, a worried kind of person, and a reflector, over analytic in my feelings so much. And it was exuded in my presence. Like, I feel different since tapping into peace. And I feel that a big part of that, if not the entire part, well, I'll give myself credit to, was the mushrooms. It just quiet everything down. I remember having a specific experience where I was paying attention to my thoughts. I was observing my thoughts, and one thought leading to another. You know, when you just have like a stream of thoughts and you don't even know how you got to where you got to. But I was in this place of being observant, of seeing how one thing led to another, and that's Chloe. And at the end of it, once I got to like one of the last thought and I snapped out of it, I was just like, you see all these thoughts that you had and they led you nowhere. I was like, wow. It just reminds me of Chloe's just moving around in the background, distracting me so hard. It just reminded me of all of us, of humanity, of how we get distracted by our thoughts and consumed and indulging in all of the things that come with the thoughts, the feelings that come with the thoughts. But being in a place of observance, I was just like seeing where everything led and seeing how none of these thoughts matter. Why are you even thinking this? Like, it doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter. And look at where you ended up. That one matters even less. Like, everything was just like, all these thoughts don't matter. And so I was able to tap into that even after the trip. Like, I can tap into a space where I'm like, I'm just gonna hold space right now, where I'm not gonna hold not one thought. It's gonna be blank. I could turn into a full-blown airhead, nothing going on up here. And it makes me think of how airheads are considered dumb or not a compliment, and I think it's the highest aspiration, where it's like, I could sit there and not hold a thought willingly, and that's so powerful. And that's all I have to say about the mushrooms. I think I just felt connected to everything, but I think that's like a basic kind of response, that you feel connected to everything. How long have I been talking? 7 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up. I felt connected to my partner at the time. I felt connected to the world. I felt connected to the earth. I felt connected to myself. But the most important thing that I got out of the mushrooms were definitely inner peace. And I also want to say that I'm not advocating for psychedelics, because I believe that we can tap into this ourselves. I think that this is already in us. It just gives a boost. Like, the psychedelics give you a boost, where it's like, here you go, this is where you can be. But I don't think it's something that should be depended on. I think it's something that should be learned from. So it could be a stepping stone for you to be like, oh, I know how to get to this place on my own because I've seen it before. So now I know how to get myself there. I don't think it's something that should be abused. I think we are it. I think I am the mushroom. At this point, I'm the mushroom. That is my experience. I have a bunch of ladybugs. In my home right now. I was painting and my mom said that they probably came with the paint because we were painting. She was just moving. Why are you acting dead? Because I picked you up. Now you want to act like you're not alive. Do ladybugs usually act dead? Let me know. She was just moving. Anyway, on my next video, I'll be talking about, oh, look at her, there she goes. I'll be talking about my LSD trip. That one should be short. That should be a short one. And then after that, I'm gonna do the mother of all, which led me to end my psychedelic binge. It was like a stepping stone, like LSD, mushroom, LSD, and then the mother of the psychedelics. Wicked little lady. All right, good night.